Welcome. This is Melinda Barlow, CZT, Certified Zentangle Teacher. And again, another bookmark tangle, thanks to Mary and Biff Fink and their suggestion in doing bookmarks. And also, this one comes from Tomas Padros, and it's called Zig Zag tracks. And this, I worked on this one, and I started doing some little picot edges, and looks like I quit and I didn't finish, but I will go ahead and finish it. And then I started putting some, I don't know, they look like snakes behind here, and I'm not sure I really like that. But we know there's no mistake in Zentangle, so I'll work on that and see if I like it. But let's do zigzag tracks. And I'm going to get my pencil, and again I am going to put a dot in the corners. And you notice we started out by being grateful for Mary and Biff Fink and for their suggestion. It's always good to start your tangles out by being grateful and that 8 steps of what we should do. So step number 1 is be grateful. And I am eternally grateful for the Zentangle method and what it's brought into my life and how I can share it with others. The second step is our little dots in the corners, because it just makes it easier to draw. And then third is we're going to put our border. And mine's kind of a wild little border there today. And then we're going to pick up a pen and we're going to draw. We could do, our fourth step is to make a string in here, but we're just going to draw within this border with no string, because zigzag tracks really doesn't need a string. So I'm going to start out, and I've picked up my blue Micron PN pen, and I'm going to just make a my first zigzag. And I decided this time I would not do it straight down, that I would just do it in a different direction, just so you can see how zigzag tracks doesn't have to be, or when you're doing a bookmark, it doesn't have to just be straight down. So we've done just a zigzag line, and they're very irregular. Mine are not really regular, because that's me. They end up not ever being really regular. But in the dips, I'm going to put a little line coming up, and that's in that dip section, so the lower part. And then we're going to connect that line with that upper line. Very simple. I love tangles that are 3 strokes of the pen or less, and this one falls right into that. And we could add another, I'm just going to add another zigzag right there, and then we could come, instead of from the bottom, we could come from the top, and I'm just going to do those right to the edge. I'm going to pretend like that one's coming off and that one's coming off. And there we have another little zigzag tracks. We're going to shade these and color these, so we could do have them with some shading. That was kind of a mumble, wasn't it? Let's change out, and I'm going to change to a black PN pen. And somebody asked what's the difference in a PN and an O1. PN stands for plastic nib. So this has a little plastic nib, and if you're heavy-handed, that works really well, because it you don't crush that tip. So there we have it. And again, I'm going to start out in the dip, and that line's only going to be part way up, because I want to be able to draw down. I want to get that triangular shape, and if you go too far up your zigzag, you're not going to get that triangular shape. And there we have the zigzag tracks again. And there we have them. Again, going another direction. And I imagine we could probably do one that give the holly bow effect. Drawing under. So I have to stop and be very careful when I draw under. And this time I think I'll go from the top. And then come up so it looks like my zigzag. I have to kind of really pay attention here. So now that one is like going under. So I kind of like that. So let's go back and let's just do some shading. On this one, I just shaded in one side with my brown pen, and I did it all in black. But so we're going to just kind of, I think I'm going to make one going, a black one, zigzag, going under this blue. And I'm going to draw down from the top. So now I have another one going under, and I'm kind of liking what's happening here. So I think I'm going to pick up a blue pen and do a zigzag down through there, and I'm going to come down from the top again. And so I have one going under. Now let's come in, and I think what I'm going to do is anywhere where I have a black zigzag track, I'm going to fill it in on one side with my blue marker, my blue pen. I'm just going to fill in one side of those little triangles with blue. And probably 99% of the time when I do a video, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I know the pattern, but I don't know how it's going to turn out. And that's what I love about it's the no predetermined outcome. It is, we're just free to draw whatever we want and just see what happens. And I love that in Zentangle. I don't have a clue what's really going to happen, and it's going to allow me to just be creative. So where we had blue, we're now putting, black, we're now putting blue. I had a little timer set so I could take my clothes out of the dryer. And then I decided to sit down and film, and timer goes off. So there we have those that were black outlined, done in blue. Now I'm going to pick up my black pen, and anywhere I had a blue zigzag track, I'm going to fill in that center with black. I want to try to make sure I don't go over that blue line. I want to leave that. Probably have to take off my glasses, and then I hope I don't get my hair bent over and have it filming my top of my head or my hair. Go have to back and fill in some of those. I didn't have a very good view. I'm going to go back in with my blue and just kind of fill in where I I mean, your eyes get a little older. They don't see quite as all the details. So now I have them. Now I think, oh, they kind of are wild in there. They need something to help them stand out. So I'm going to take my blue pencil, and it needs sharpened because it's not very sharp. So I've got a pretty sharp point, and then I'm just going to put a little shading. Just going to put some in the background, and we'll see what happens. I might have to use a little graphite also. So I'm going to test it out with, so now that I've got my colored pencil right there, I'm going to take a blending stump and my odorless paint thinner, moisten my blending stump, and then I'm just going to see if I can't blend. And what I'm doing is just coloring in my background. We'll come in a little bit. Sorry that I hadn't come in earlier. You can see I'm blending it up and away from my little zigzag tracks. I want that dark right there, kind of in the shadow, but I'm just going to blend it away so I get just a little different look. And I like what's happening here, so I'm going to go ahead and if you notice, I have not dipped my shading stump back in my odorless paint thinner. I'm just blending it out, and I use kind of the edge so I don't crush that tip, but it looks like it's needing a little bit more odorless paint thinner, so it will blend it a little bit. I don't want a harsh line, I want it blended out. But I like how that's just giving that. Have to pause a minute and just kind of pay attention to where that color needs to go. That we're getting much better, you know what, just a nicer look. We can come in, and since I'm using I don't want to use a graphite if I've already used this. Sometimes we'll use a graphite pencil, I mix them, but I'm going to use my cool gray, and I'm going to use it to give a little bit of, we'll see how that looks. I've got blue on here also. I just want it to give it a little, I kind of like how that's turning out. And so I can add a little gray to here. This one's, and if I want to clean my shading stump, I want to clean that blue off of there, just put it on an emery board and rub it back and forth. And I still got odorless paint thinner, but I don't have the blue. So now I can and so we're getting some great look on this. Now I could let this dry a little bit, and if I'm good, well, not if I'm good, we can aura. Sometimes just an aura around, and I'm just oraing everything, any line I'm not. And we just have just some fun straight lines in there. And I don't know, sometimes I just don't know when to quit. But I think I'm going to end on that one. And there you have Zig Zag Tracks by Tomas Padros. And it just has a different look by the different ways you do it. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. New videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And all the things you see here are available on my website. And that helps support this channel. Thanks again for watching. Thanks again to to Mary and Beth for saying they like bookmarks. If you have something you'd like me to do a lesson on, please email me at melinda@inkidoodles.com, and I will see what I can do. Thanks again, and tangle every day.